So, live from Denver, Colorado, where the weatherman is warning us about local residents to brace themselves for a huge snowstorm. But tonight, the storm on everyone's mind is taking place indoors in the Nicholas Sports Arena, home of the Denver Nuggets. And if people could say one good thing positive about that arena, is that if I'm not lying to myself, excuse my sore throat, 7,800 people went to the Nichols Sports Arena, home of the inaugural UFC 1. UFC, the new beginning, or as they call it, the beginning. November 12th, 1993, we have eight fighters debuting in a UFC event. The first ever UFC, or as the commentator and the announcer in the beginning part would call it, as he would almost call it, as he would say it, the site of tonight's landmark martial arts event. And he says, and I quote, 8 of the deadliest fighters in the world will meet in a no-holds-barred combat to determine who is the ultimate fighting champion. Be forewarned, there are no rules, no judges' scores, no time limits. And there's also no weight class, which means you can weigh at 180 pounds, you can weigh at 200 pounds, hell, you can weigh at 400 pounds if you wanted to enter in this competition. No weight class. 8 of the fighters are from each division. Each division, keep that in mind. And here they are. Number 1, you'll witness Royce Gracie, Brazilian World Light Heavyweight Jiu-Jitsu Champion. Patrick Smith, 1993 Sabaki Challenge Heavyweight Champion in Taekwondo. Art Jimerson, IBF North American Cruiserweight Boxing Champion. Gerard Jordeau, World Heavyweight Savate Champion. Zane Frazier, the WKM Super Heavyweight Kempo Champion. Ken Shamrock, my favorite, the number 1 shoe fighter in Japan. And Tylee Tui, 3 years pro sumo champion in Japanese professional circuit. And finally, my favorite, Kevin Rozier, or as Cameron would call him, Rozier. People say Rozier, people say Rozier. I just say Rozier. But yeah, don't blame me. He's also the WKA and ISK Super Heavyweight Kickboxing Champion. 8 street tough warriors rage combat in a battle where anything can happen and probably will. Oh yeah, and by the way, the matches should only be ended in submission and TKO corner stoppages. As for the referees, I'll talk about the referees' incompetence because there's a lot of interesting information here that gets talked about a lot about UFC. That referees cannot stop the fight. Only the cornerman can throw in the towel. But of course, that would play into next year's competitions as time goes on. And so, mostly that's the whole introduction. Everything I just said there for the last 4 minutes right now of the start of this whole project of me talking about UFC, that's the beginning. I love the landmark. I love the intro and the build for it. I love every bit of it. And it's really pretty awesome when you look at it from that perspective. And then our one and only commentary that would never come back to UFC after this, Bill Wallace, would introduce us live from Denver, Colorado, where there are smoke machines. That we get a shot of smoke machines. And hey, Lucky. Hey, like, I even love that. I even love that Bill Wallace actually misspelled an air or something, or he made a mistake saying the Nicholas as we tried to say Nicholas, because I believe me, I thought the arena was called Nicholas or something. But like I said before, he actually pronounced it as Manicola, but then he later he actually stuttered for some reason, which is actually hilarious to look back at it. And then he introduced us to other commentators, Jim Brown, NFL Hall of Famer. And then on his right shoulder is Kathy Long, 5-time world kickboxing champion with 1 loss in her career. And then we would have Rob Machado, a guy that would talk so much about Royce Gracie. He would talk so much about Royce Gracie. That guy had more information to say about Royce Gracie. And guys, if you viewers have seen the YouTube video of Is UFC 1 Rigged? Believe me, if you haven't seen that video, Rod talks so much. He even bees in the commentary team once in a while, even talking about the information, which is crazy. And guys, if I ever had to talk about the commentators and everyone about this so much, I would be making a 2-hour video. I would be here all day. Even though I'm not talking about the fights, I'm only talking about the environment and what the commentators are and everyone else. Because this is the first day. I'm just getting started just to let you viewers know the environment. The environment's pretty interesting. We have an 8-corner ring. Brian Kilmore would come out telling us about the original event of an 8-square octagon. He even shows us padding. He shows us padding around every corner of the octagon. He shows us the mat. It's not an original mat. It's actually soft. He shows us of how of a slow surface. And you can even see the mats on TV that you can tell that it's not that like a boxing ring. So the environment is pretty interesting. The environment is pretty interesting. But yeah, the 7,800 people that were there that day might have was witnessing the greatest moment of all time, or something's up. And the 86,000 pay-per-view buy rate they had that day was something out of nowhere. And yeah, but believe me, it is crazy. And oh, by the way, guys, I did forget to mention, referees can only halt a match pending the corner decision. So if a person gets injured, the ref can actually say timeout. Is the person okay? They'll talk to their cornerman or the PhDs or everyone, the doctors, if he's okay or able to go back fighting. And if they don't, they don't. Which that wouldn't be much of a factor in the first 2 UFCs, because at this moment, UFC 3 would be the moment where they would change that rule and have referees stop the fight if they wanted to. So yeah, in competition, the environment's pretty interesting, and I think it's going to be something interesting because it's November 1993. This even took place around the same month with the Riddick Bowe and Evander Holyfield 2 and the Man in the Parachute. So I think the month of November 93 was something special to talk about. And to be honest, I enjoyed it.